Hi there, welcome to today's class. We're focusing on opening up the shoulders today. If you do have a couple of blocks, they may come in handy, but it's absolutely not necessary. So please start off in child's pose, so coming onto your knees with your big toes touching. Sit back onto your heels and then lay on over your thighs and rest your forehead on the mat, bringing your arms by the sides of the body, palms face up. You can always rest your head on your hands or a block if that feels more comfortable. We're just going to start off with some deep breaths. So breathing in and out through your nose, really slowing your breath in to fill up your lungs completely, and then slowly breathing the air out. So today's class is great if you do have tight shoulders or tight mid-back, so your thoracic spine area. And this could be from if you have an office job or you spend a lot of time seated at a computer or some kind of desk doing drawing maybe, if you do a lot of driving or simply just sitting in front of the TV and maybe slouching a little, picking up, carrying children. So general day-to-day stuff, and we can get really tight and rounded around the shoulders. So today's class is focused on opening up that area. So continue with your deep breath, and we're going to reach our arms behind us and interlock our fingers. Take an inhale and reach your knuckles up towards the ceiling. So straightening the arms or keeping them bend in the elbow if that feels a better stretch for you. And just start to feel that stretch across the shoulders and the chest area. Then we're going to slowly start to roll on our forehead side to side, moving our arms side to side as we go. Deep breaths. And now come back to stillness and reach the arms out in front of you, coming up onto all fours. So spread the fingers wide and stack your shoulders directly over your wrists and bring your knees directly under your hips, so about sit bone distance, so not too wide. It's taken just a couple of rounds of cat and cow. So hug your arms inwards. Take an inhale, look forwards, draw your chest forwards and lift your sit bones to the ceiling, so you're arching in your spine. And then exhale, round the back, chin to chest, really draw your pelvis towards your head. Inhale, look forwards, shoulders back, lift the heart. And exhale, pull everything in towards your center, chin to chest, navel to spine and doming into the back. And then take an inhale, come back to neutral, so flat back. Starting on the right side, take a breath in, reach the right arm up as you press down into that left arm. And as you exhale, thread it under the left arm so your right shoulder comes to the floor. One more of those. Inhale, reach up, stretch up through the fingertips. And exhale, thread it through. And now rest here. So turning your gaze to the left, head resting on the mat or a block. And if you want to stretch out that left shoulder, wrap your left arm behind the back in a half bind. And really draw that left shoulder back if you're going for that pose. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then return the left hand to the mat, push into the left hand and come back to your tabletop. So now the same on your left side. Push into your right hand, take a breath in, reach that left arm to the ceiling, stretch it up, leaning back if possible, and then exhaling, threading it under. Inhaling, reaching that arm up, stretch up, and then exhale, thread it under and rest there. So really reach those left fingertips away from you so you can get that stretch along the left side of the spine as well. And then if you're going for the half bind, right arm wraps behind you, reaching around towards your left hip. So actively draw the right shoulder back. And then place your right hand to the floor. Push into it to return to tabletop. We're going to take a pose called puppy dog, and it's a really great way of getting into the mid-back. So if you do have blocks, grab them and take them up on the tallest level. If not, rest your hands on the mat, that's fine. Wiggle your knees back, so walk them back. And we want to keep our hips directly above our knees as we would in tabletop. And then we're literally going to sink our chest towards the floor, stretching our hands forwards, your hands are on the block, you've got a bit more space to drop your chest and maybe get into a deeper stretch if you're a bit more open in the spine here. This can be a bit of a love it or hate it pose, I'm afraid. So if you are tight in the mid-back, you might find this particularly comfortable. If you're really open, you may find your chest goes all the way to the floor. You can take your chin to the floor and look forwards. So take deep breaths, try and soften into it, try not to resist that stretch. Last breath. Now really engage the belly, so pull the belly in, press into the hands to come up. And you can either walk your hands back towards you or knees forwards. Okay, making your way into downward dog. Take a moment to stretch out, hug the arms in, press your heels towards the floor. I'm going to take Anjaneyasana, or low lunge pose. So pick the right leg up behind you, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, step the right foot forwards inside your left hand. Wiggle it up there if you need to. Take your left hand to the mat. And we're going to take some right circles with our right hand. So reach that right arm in front of you. And as you bring it round by your ear, bend the elbows. Think cactus arm. And then reach it round again, straightening the arm as it sweeps by your ear. And then bending the elbow as you reach it round, really trying to get into that right shoulder, maybe the pectoral area as well. 3 more. And last one. And then take your right hand to your thigh and push yourself into an upright position. So you're still in your low lunge, the legs aren't changing, but your body, your shoulders are now above your hips. Reach your arms behind the back and interlace your fingers. Take a breath in, lift the heart forwards, shoulders draw back, knuckles reach away from you, just getting another stretch into that chest area. You can gaze up, keep your gaze forwards, work with what feels better for your neck. And then release your grip. Take your right hand to your thigh, reach your left arm up by your ear, and then turn to your right and hook your elbow to the outside of your right knee and bring your palms to touch so your elbows are stacking on top of one another, so pointing away from each other. Take an inhale here, draw your chest forwards, pull the belly in. As you exhale, twist. So twist's a really good way of getting into the spine as well, really nice way of stretching that area. So breathe deeply, engage the abdominals as you twist. 2 more. And then look down, plant your hands, step back to downward dog. Taking an inhale, lifting your left leg up behind you, stretch those toes back. As you exhale, step it inside your left hand. Right hand to the mat and just move the right hand slightly forward. So we want the hand slightly forwards of the shoulder so it's better support for the shoulder. And taking those arm circles again. So reach that left arm up by your ear. So reaching in front of you. And as you breathe out, bend the elbow and reach the arm back. Take it slowly. Inhale forwards. Exhale, elbow bends. Reaches all the way back. Inhale, arm straightens to come forwards. And then take it behind you. Really feeling that stretch in the left shoulder. Last 2. And then place your left hand to the thigh. Press yourself into an upright position. Keep the hips sinking down so you don't lose that hip flexor stretch. Be mindful to not overstretch though. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Take a breath in, lift the chest up. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Strong arms reaching away. Make sure you're not really pulling the shoulders down away from the shoulders. Away from the ears. We don't want to strain the shoulders, so just be mindful of that as well as you draw your chest forwards. And then releasing, taking your left hand to your thigh, reaching that right arm up by your ear, take an inhale, reach up. As you exhale, hook the elbow to the outside of the knee and come into your twist, palms together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, navel to spine. Engage the side of the body as you twist. Press the shoulders back. And then look down. Place your hands to the mat. Step back, downward dog. Okay, take an inhale. We're going to ripple forwards into plank. So lift up your heels, round the back, bring your chin to your chest as you move your shoulders over your wrists into plank pose. Pause for a breath in. And as you exhale, lower your body to the floor. You can do this on your knees, but nice and slowly all the way to the mat. So you're lying on your front. Take your hands out next to you, so they're about in line with the shoulders, maybe slightly further back. So again, work with your body and tent your fingers. Take an inhale, lift the chest, shoulders back, and drag those fingertips back towards you. Breathing deeply. And then release your body back down. Pausing here, keep your hands where they are, move them back a little bit more, and take an inhale, lift the chest again. Press your hips into the mat, hug the lower belly in. Legs are strong, so press into the tops of the feet. You can either stay here or lift the hands. Make sure you're not looking up towards the ceiling because this crunches the back of the neck. So keep your chin towards your chest slightly, gazing not straight down, but just in front of the mat. Holding here, and then release all the way to the floor. Okay. We're going to take quite a deep shoulder stretch here. So take your right arm out to the side at 90 degrees. So again, cactus that arm. And take your left hand next to the chest. Press into that left hand and roll onto your right side. And you can choose to stay here, or you can also do this with a straight arm. I prefer bent. It works better for my body. But if you prefer straight, please straighten the arm and take the same pose. So rolling onto your right side with your feet stacked. Depending on how open that shoulder is, you may be able to step the left foot behind you on the floor, so your knee is pointing up, the left foot is flat, and maybe with the right foot as well. But pause, sink into that stretch, try not to resist it, and take some deep breaths. Resting the head on the mat. A block might be too high, but it depends. You may find that also more comfortable, or even a cushion. You can always stop the video and come back to it if you need to. And then release, roll onto your right side, same again on the left. So cactus that left arm, so the elbow is in line with the shoulder. Again, you can move your arm around and then roll onto your left side. Option to straighten the left arm if you prefer. Deep breaths, gazing to the right. Last deep breath. Really fill up. Exhale to let go. And then roll back onto your front. Bring your hands next to your chest and push yourself back into child's pose. Just easing out the spine. Deep breaths. Exhale to soften. And then come onto your back. If you don't have much time, you're welcome to stretch out straight into Savasana. I prefer to take a twist before I lay flat on my back. If you are lying flat, but you don't have time to twist, then you can always bend your knees and come straight into Savasana. Otherwise, bring your knees into the chest and drop them to the right. Stretch your left arm out. Maybe take your right hand to your knees. Just apply some gentle pressure, just easing off now, completely winding down. And then come back to center and switch sides. Left hand to the knees, optional. Right arm reaching out, gazing over to the right. Maybe even closing the eyes now. And then coming back to center. Let's take a couple of minutes in Savasana to wind down. You can always stay for longer if you have time. So stretch your legs out, bring your arms by the side, palms face up. Feet to about as wide as the mat. Flop your feet out, let your legs roll out. Fingers soften. Chin towards chest and shoulders away from the ears. Let your breath flow freely and settle in. Start to move the body slowly, moving your head side to side, moving your fingers and your toes. Take an inhale, reach the arms up, stretch out, and then roll onto your right side. And press into the hands to come up. Please come into a comfortable seat, eyes closed. Take a few breaths here. Palms face up on your knees, index finger and thumb touching. Thank you so much for joining me today, bringing your hands to your heart center. And namaste.